I found it very interesting and not exactly what I thought in the beginning. And that is, my feeling was that it was really going to be more of a uh, start with a step-by-step process. But what it really uncovered was how fundamental emotion is to us. And so even though I was thinking it was more complex, it was actually much simpler. So it was really getting in touch with our own personal thoughts, objections, feelings, the whole notion. And what was really important was your statement about rejection is like stepping on a nail. I think my key takeaway was that you have to have the conversation to connect with people. So again, much more fundamental than, and we all know these things, we just don't do them, or I don't do them. So if you're reacting to something, rather than dwelling on the reaction and what you're thinking and all your, defensive mechanisms come into play, it's really simply having the conversation to reestablish the connection. The connection gets broken. And that was key, that people aren't trying to do anything bad. It's the circumstance, it's the situation, it's the connection that gets broken. And so that connection has to be reestablished. And that was a significant takeaway, that organizations want to have great people. And I think the first reason is to just offer your people a tool to be better people. So just at a very personal level, and what can you do for your employees? So I think that's part of it. The second thing is really productivity and moving forward on whatever that company agenda may be. And conflicts do come up. They always come up. And it really is important for people to understand the mechanics of it, which is you've done a fabulous job of really breaking it down to fundamental steps. And that is that the connection is broken. We all have, as you call them, raw spots that trigger reactions. And again, just like stepping on a nail, rejection is just like stepping on a nail. If you understand that you're not alone, or some other person's not alone in that reaction, then you can move beyond that. So I think it really gives an organization the opportunity to tell their people that these are things that are so common, they're fundamental to our beings. We all do the same thing. We all have the same response. The reactions may be slightly different, but fundamentally they're the same. And these issues of rejection, or these triggers, or the raw spots can invoke all these other reactions that are absolutely unproductive.
So how has it changed your working with people since the training? What have you changed?
One thing that I have done, and this was really worth a lot, and that is empathy versus sympathy. And I tried to always be empathetic with people, but until you explained it and we talked about it in the class, I wasn't as effective as I thought I might have been. And it takes time to get better, but it really is the comparison of, empathy to sympathy. And empathy is that, I'm there with you. Mm-hmm. And that is probably the single most important thing that I took away. I don't know, there was a lot of important things, but that was another one.
That has really changed the way you...
That has changed my interactions with people, because right. I've always known of that. I've always tried to do that, but in the conversations, if things don't go well, you kind of forget about that. And so now you're, thinking about other. And I think the training is important to organizations because it helps people be better people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get in touch with not only yourself but the others that you're with.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And I think that for so long, our society, I mean, it's all about performance and productivity and profitability. And it's the whole, early notion of, it's nothing personal, it's just business and all. I mean, and those things are just, I don't know, those always were abrasive to me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's personal. We're people. I mean, and how do people react? And I mean, I understand that it's an easy way to just get out of that. That it's, it's not personal, it's just business. Well, of course, but it's personal business. You motivate the people to do the business if they're not happy with you or
Right.
they're upset.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it just didn't make sense to me, that saying. And I think you clarified that in the power of emotional connection, both in your own mind and with others.